Hey guys, so before I start this, I would like you to do me a solid favor, and that's like the video, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Also guys, if you would like, click on the links in the description. You can find my content elsewhere outside of YouTube. If you listen to podcasts at home, at work, on your break, or when you're relaxing, or doing housework, or chore work, whatever you want, whatever your occupation that you do to keep yourself busy, making money or not, basically, if you listen to podcasts while doing it, you can find my podcast at all these various podcast affiliates like iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and to an extent Sirius XM. Also, if you watch and subscribe, and are viewers, if not content creators of other platforms outside of YouTube, like Rumble, VENMO, Odyssey, and Dailymotion, you can find me there as well. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at DeviantArt at BVW1979 and InkBuddy.net at BWRosset. You can also find me on Patreon. I have a Patreon, so check that out if you want to help support me there. I also have a Venmo and a Cash App if you want to help there. And also, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me, I should say, at TikTok, Twitter, aka X.com, and Blue Sky as well. You can follow me on one of those platforms if you would like. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I have a couple of online stores. I have a Fourth Wall store that's just been opened up for about a little over a month. Check out some items there. And also I have a Teespring store that's been open up for a couple of years. The Fourth Wall store link is at the top, and the Teespring store is at the bottom. And also, during the premiere of this video, you can chime in the live chat, give your thoughts on what I have to say here, as well as if you feel like it, and you're in the mood to do so, you can donate through SuperChats. Also, comments will be open during both the video premiere and afterwards. And if you feel like doing so after the video premiere, if you can't be here in time for that, you can, and you would like to donate, you can donate through Super Thanks, which is a little heart with the $ sign in the middle. But with that said, let's get on to the topic at hand. Now, yesterday or this morning, depending on how you watched it, depending on your time zone frame, the 5th and 6th episodes of Hazbin Hotel came out. Now, I've explained why, I don't really watch it fully when I can and everything. There's reasons. You all know that. But long story short, I did catch some clips on YouTube. I did hear what people have to say. And I did skim through some of the episodes, some of the episodes just recently. And I have to say that what is being planned is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. But it feels like it's all going to culminate with Vox's fall. That's right. I mean, you look at the end. You look at the end of episode 6. Charlie's making up. A bit of spoilers. Charlie had a bit of a, basically, what's the word I'm looking for? She had a crash out. She basically had a crash, if you will, at the end of episode 5. And then in episode 6, she basically made up for what she did. She said she was sorry. Didn't basically mean to say what she did. And finally acknowledged that, yeah, she's kind of taken on a little too much than what she can handle, and that the real reason she's doing this is she wants to make her mother proud, kind of finish what her mother started, not that long ago, and make her proud. Although, I think what's going on is the fact that, just like Vaggie tells her, she's hurting the hotel because she's misinterpreting or was misinterpreting a lot of things and not seeing the bigger picture. She was allowing herself to be drawn in, be baited by what Vox was doing. And what's going to happen, basically, I think, as we head into the final 2 episodes next week, is it feels like not only is Vox's plan going to fail, but I think what's going to be found out about Vox is when he was alive on Earth, I've got a feeling he was a bit of a loner. And I don't mean loner in the fact that, he just cared about himself and he just cared about himself and he loved manipulating people like he does in hell. No, I'm talking about being a loner as in nobody wanted nothing to do with him. That as much as he wanted to help people, befriend people, nobody wanted anything to do with him. I mean, we kind of see that in the flashback he had with Alistair, right? How Alistair basically in the flashback, brushed him off because he didn't value or didn't look at Vox as being someone that he could, be friends with or be partners with or even more if you're into that. he just looked at him as, meaningless, if you will, just below him, beneath him. So, so I got a feeling what's going to happen is that all this is going to come out in the final 2 episodes, and it's going to be revealed that Vox is only doing all this. He's only manipulating people. He's only using the citizens of hell to declare war on heaven, basically to make up for his own insecurities and to make up for the fact that nobody wanted to be his friend while he was alive or when he ended up, in hell, earlier on in his afterlife. So I think that's what's going to happen. I also think that we're going to see Charlie take on a form that's a little bit more surprising. Like we already know she's got that demon form. We know that. We know that and everything. But I got a feeling she's going to take on a form that's similar in style or design, but a little bit more powerful. Like I said, I got a feeling she's going to have something that's, part hell, part angelic. I just can't explain it. I just feel that's coming. I could be wrong, but I feel that's coming. I mean, we just saw, Sarah take on her ultimate form and everything. Basically, a form that she's going to take on for battle and everything, for war. But I don't think we're going to see it that much after that. I mean, we might see it. I mean, I wouldn't say we might. I think we will see it, in the finale, on the final 2 episodes. But I don't think we'll see it after, as much after that. Like we'll see it during the battles, but not much after that. But I think again, at the end of the day, we're going to find out that this is all based on Vox's insecurities. That basically, he's only doing, what he did potentially on Earth because he was lonely and nobody wanted to associate with him. So he's going to manipulate, the news. He's going to basically fabricate, what people hear and see, to his own, for his own advantage and everything as payback of, hey, I tried to help you guys. I tried to be a nice guy. I wanted to be friends while I was alive and when I first arrived here in the afterlife, but nobody wanted to associate with me. So guess what? I'm going to take it out all on you and make you pay. I think that's what it is. Because we've seen this kind of story play out before where somebody will manipulate certain people or the populace or whatever, and then we eventually find out that one of the reasons they're acting this way is their own insecurities of not being able to befriend people in the actual life or even in this case the afterlife, in the underworld. So I think that's what's going to come out about Vox. I just feel it. Also, I feel that what's going to be revealed, in the final 2 episodes, mostly I think towards the end of the final episode for season 2, I think what's going to get revealed is that the reason Lilith, is not paying attention to Charlie, the reason she's where she's at, because a lot of people have speculated, okay, what is Lilith's positioning? Why is she in heaven? What was the deal she made that got her there, and everything? What did she say to Sarah? What did she say to Adam when he was alive, or to Lilith, not Lilith, but to Luke? What did Lilith say? What bargain did she make and everything, with them? What bargain did, basically, does the speaker of God, that phoenix-like creature we saw, does she know what's going on? Is she aware of Lilith? And if she is, does she know of the deal? Or was she in, on the deal of letting Lilith come in, Basically, what I'm trying to say is I feel that Lilith's plan, her ultimate plan, is going to get more revealed because, again, she can come down. She can come down to hell and reveal herself and basically, basically let the truth be known as to where she's been, why she's there and all that. And yeah, it might be because she wants to protect Charlie and everything and all that. And she doesn't want, she doesn't want Charlie's life to be interfered with, even though it is being interfered with. Because, because as we see in in episode 6, Vaggie does forgive her. She does admit, look, I do need to, basically Charlie admits she is taking on too much, and she's letting, basically, her naiveness get the best of her. She's letting herself get baited But now with the help of her girlfriend and her dad and maybe others, she's going to realize, look, I'm not going to let myself be manipulated anymore. I see what's going on. And I think the end result will be, before we get the reveal, maybe in an end credit deal with Lilith, I think the result will be that Charlie will keep the hotel open, but then she'll be like, look, I'm not going to come out and beg for you guys to come in, to be part of the hotel, to live here, try to get redeemed. She's probably going to say, look, I'm going to leave that to you. It's your choice. It'll be up to you if you want to come in, be part of the hotel, have a chance to get to heaven, or just just live as you are right now. That I got a feeling that's what's going to happen. She's going to basically be more like, hey, the only way I'm going to run this is to let people have a choice and not force people into it. So I see that happening, if you will. I see that happening. At the end, I'm trying to find the right words to say. At the end, of the final episode, I feel that's going to happen. But at the same time, I feel that, like I said, in the end credits, we're going to find out more about Lilith's plan. Now, again, she could come down and surprise everybody in season 8 and say, hey, this is why, I've been in heaven. This is why I've been in heaven. Da 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 da. She could do that, if you will. Or what's going to happen is that we're going to get a bigger clue to go into season 3, and maybe 4 by extension, a bigger clue as to what her ultimate plan is. Because like I said, obviously Sarah knows about her being there, along with Luke. Emily, I'm not too sure of. Speaker of God may or may not know about her being there. But whatever the case may be, I've got a feeling we're going to get more clues as to what Lilith's plan is. And either it's a plan to where basically she wants both heaven and hell to wipe each other out. Because, the way I look at Lilith, the way I look at her, is I see somebody that just wants to be left alone, left in peace, left her own devices, and not have to worry, if she's going to have to, go here or there and have responsibility. She feels like, hey, I just want to be, left alone, in peace, do my thing, and that's it. I feel that's, what her goal is, and, to obtain that goal, honestly, I think her ultimate plan, honestly, is she wants both heaven and hell to destroy each other. I think that's what will be revealed, and when that doesn't happen, obviously we'll see what the next step will be at the end of the final episode, maybe in a post-credit scene. Not saying that's going to happen. Again, only Vizzy knows what's going to happen, and those that have seen it, got advanced screenings, know what's going to happen. But it is interesting to kind of speculate and figure out and theorize as to what's going to happen coming in the final 2 episodes. But it does feel like we're heading in that direction. Like, obviously, Lilith is going to end up becoming more involved, and now we're getting more of a clue as to why Charlie's doing what she's doing. Now we're getting more of a clue. And here's the thing. All Charlie has to do is text her mom or message her. Well, obviously she tried to call her, but she got the voice message of, hey, this number's not available, or the person just is ignoring you, and everything. So she got that message. She didn't like it. So my thought is she's going to finally be like, I got to find my mom. And I think that's going to be probably her goal going into season 3. At the same time, like I said, at the end of the final episode of this season, we'll start probably getting an idea of what Lilith's role is going to be. But I think also in the final episode, it's going to, I think either it's going to be, it's going to get slipped. It's either going to slip out by either Sarah or Luke, or Charlie's just going to figure it out herself, either with the help of her dad or just on her own. She's going to figure it out herself. That, wait a minute, if my mom's not hiding here, she should be. I think it's going to dawn on her that she's in heaven, but how? That's going to dawn on her. I think it's going to dawn on her exactly as to where her mom is. And like I said, either she figures that out herself with the help of her dad, or she's going to get it, slipped to her by Lute, or maybe even Sarah. Sarah might, out of gratitude for, whatever the result's going to be at the final episode, I think Sarah's going to be like, look, I'm going to tell you something I should have told you a long time ago. I'm going to let you in on this. And she'll let her know. She'll let her know that your mother is in heaven. And I think that might be the cliffhanger that ends the final episode of this season. And then, like I said, in the post credits, I think we might see Lilith be aware, like she might get like some kind of feeling that she's been found out, that basically her secret is out now, and that's not going to make her happy. Because I think honestly, again, unless she comes down and acknowledges where she's been herself, and explains why she's done it and everything, and tries to basically get her daughter to understand that, look, look, I see what you're doing, I respect that, I love what you're doing, but it's not your choice. It's everybody's choice. Everybody has a choice to basically do what they want to do. If they want to resist, create a resistance, that's up to them. If they want to have an opportunity to get up there, that's up to them. She might do that. That's how we might see her show up. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. But, honestly, if that's not the case, again, I've got a feeling that Charlie will want to go and try to find her mom, and either she's going to figure out she's there herself, or she's going to find out from Sarah or Lute or somebody that's going to let it slip. That's going to let it slip, and she's going to basically be like, you know what, I got to go there. I got to go up to heaven. I got to find her. I got to talk to her because this is getting stupid. And then, like I said, at the same time, I feel that we're going to get, basically, Lilith's plan being more revealed, because again, I feel that if she doesn't come down, and help her daughter, or at least explain to her daughter the situation, I think what will happen, and again, this is just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, I think what's going to happen, is that her plan, at the end is going to be revealed even more so, to where I think we're going to get some kind of symbolism of, as to the fact that she wants both heaven and hell out of the way and just be left in peace. That's what I feel is going to happen. That's what I feel is going to happen. So, a lot to take away from the episodes 5 and 6 and everything. 7 and 8 is definitely going to be something to look out for. I can guarantee that. But that's all I can really say, guys. I do apologize if I paused a little bit and there might have been a silence here and there. I was thinking about what I was going to say, so I do apologize if you hear that, or don't hear anything for like a few seconds or something, 30 seconds or whatever. I do apologize for that. But let me know what your thoughts are. If you haven't already in the comments, or haven't already, I should say, in the live chat, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. What do you think about what I'm theorizing and speculating here? Do you think, honestly, that Lilith will show up and everything? Do you think she will show up, and let her daughter know where she's been and why she's there, and make her daughter understand that, hey, it's not your it's not your duty to, have people come to the hotel. It's not your choice, it's theirs. Maybe she makes her realize that. I don't know. Or do you think Lilith has something more in mind too? Maybe she wants to see both heaven and hell go kablooey and everything, and she's left in peace. We don't know. And what do you think about Vox? What do you think about Vox's situation? Do you think it's going to get revealed that when he was alive, he was basically someone that was a loner, but not by choice, but basically a loner because nobody wanted nothing to do with him, and now he's taking what he did in business, he's taking that and using that, in hell to kind of, make up for all of that insecureness and all that loneliness he was given, with no friends, no loved ones or anything. Do you think that he's trying to compensate for that by trying to manipulate everybody into declaring war so that he now has value? Because I think that's what it is. He wants to feel important, and being the executive he probably was of a network, he didn't feel that important. Nobody looked at him in that way, so now he wants to be that way. And he's trying, and that even in life and afterlife, he's trying to compensate in this manner because nobody wanted nothing to do with him. Nobody felt he was important enough to be friends with. And like I said, we could see that with the Alistair flashback and all that. So let me know. Let me know if you think that's going to be the end result as to what this really is about with Vox and everything. What are your thoughts? And yeah, that's all I can really say on it, guys. Do you think we will see Charlie take on a new form that's kind of like it's a combination of angelic and demon to kind of put an end to this? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section if you haven't, like I said, already in the live chat. And like I said, I do apologize for any pauses here and there, a little longer than they should be. Again, I was trying to think about what I was going to say. But let me know what your thoughts are. And until next time, guys, I am out. Take care. God bless. Do all the things like the video, subscribe, share the video, ring the bell for notification, and click on the links in the description to find my content elsewhere and to support me elsewhere outside of YouTube. But guys, that's all I'm going to say for now. And until then, I am out.